Welcome back to another video, guys. I know it's been a while, but today we're coming back with a heater. We're going over a trade recap on how we caught the top of SPY on a short position. So without further ado, let's get into it and everything that I saw in this trade. So starting off, guys, here is the ES chart, the hourly chart. And you guys know I've been trading this ICT strategy a lot lately, and I've been implementing into my supply and demand strategy, just seeing how everything works, just been trying it out. So far, I've been loving it. So right here, we have a high, right? What is sitting above these highs? The people that shorted down here, their stop loss is a trend reversal. Break above this level this is where they would stop out, right? This is called a buy stop. Everyone that shorted here, their stop loss is up here. And when you're shorting, to close your position, what do you have to do? You have to buy. So this wick here off open was just them buying, right? Them buying, and it sent the stock up, and then shorts rallied it back down. So if we go on to the 2-minute here, we're looking for a very specific setup. Right here we have displacement back under, and now it created equal lows here, but it continued down, right? So what we had here was displacement created a fair value gap. This is a 3-candle pattern where the wick is drawn to the other wick with a displacement candle in the middle, and displacement is just a large candle. And you guys will start to understand this. If you guys are new to this concept, make sure you guys stick around. I'll help teach it, but also there's a whole mentorship on YouTube about it. But that's what I really enjoyed about this setup. Is another thing is on the daily we were also in a large fair value gap, right? And if we go into SPY, and if you guys know, ES is SPY pretty much, what do we have here? We have this gap fill. So what tends to happen? We fill the gap and we tend to reject it. And that's exactly what I was watching for. If you guys were on my Twitter, you guys know I was calling for this gap fill after this red day. We gravitated towards the gap fill, filled it almost, and started to reject. That's when I knew we were on the right side of the trade. So back here on ES, we go into the hourly. What is this right here? This is a liquidity grab where the shorts came up, the stock broke past that high, and then they had to cover their shorts. Market makers took that as liquidity, and then look at what happens. Right now, how did we find our entry? We found our entry based off of this fair value gap. There was also another fair value gap here, which is where I added a starter position. Right, we added a starter position on this fair value gap here, and you guys can see obviously it didn't work out, but that's why we had a starter. We added it because our main short area was a move to this high here. This is where we wanted to add most of our position. So I added like 3 contracts here, and I added like 40 up here. So I'll show you guys the proof of that right now. Starting small, 395 puts at 107, light starter, contracts at 1.8. Trim some here, we'll use profits to re-add. And guys, this is how you're supposed to trade. If you guys are in a starter and you think that it's gonna go against you in the near future, trim some off and use that trim, use those profits you just made to re-add onto your main position. And that's exactly what I did. Contracts at 1.27, the play was up 20%. Feel free to trim, don't let the play go red, because we are looking for re-adds. Right, and then here added more at 0.86, and this is where we added 1052, 1053, right? And look at the time here, 1053, not in full yet, 3/5. Now we wait for super ultra mega dumpy. Obviously I'm messing around with the chat, having some fun. The Great Depression is upon us. Let's go 30%, take profit whenever, and look at how well it rejected. We added there, this entire dump came right after. We took 50% on the play, boom, and you guys see the entire dump that came after, and that was the top of SPY, or the local top for that. And just so you guys know, I'm not bullshitting, I don't lie to you guys. You guys know if I tell you I took a play and I put it in my Discord, you know I really took it. So that is how I was able to make $1,500, a 50% return. I wasn't even in my full position. I wanted to add around $5,000. It was a Friday, so I was sizing in light. I only went in with around $3,200. You can see our first ads here, and then you can see our main ads here, and we started taking profits here. And you want to know why I started taking profits? I always have a price target. Probably like, oh, Shinobi, you didn't hold for the full bottom. Of course I did. I'm not an idiot. It's Friday. You know, we had a weird week. We have FOMC next week. I'm taking my profits as I get them. Right here, where did I take profits? The previous low. Shorted at 399, sold at 397.23-ish, because that was this previous low. So this previous low is here, and this is where I start to take profits off, because that was my price target. Obviously, am I upset? Am I mad that it went lower? No, because I know next time I'll be able to leave some runners. This time it was just a rare scenario of it being Friday and FOMC next week. I just wanted to be safe. And as you guys know, here's the running P&L. We were green, added more. Most this place saw down was $300, and you guys could see, boom, insane moves to the upside. 1600 secured. This play did take a little while. It took around almost an hour, but getting paid 1500 for an hour is, tell me another job where you could get paid 1500 for 1 hour of work and no physical labor. It's amazing. I love it. So this was a very nice trade. You know, my stop loss would have been 399.5, and you guys could see this was a 2.93 R risk to reward. Once we had those 86 ads over here, this is when I decided I would keep a stop loss at 0.75, because if it got under 0.75, I'll just look to trade different contracts, just because I don't want to be trading with super cheap contracts. Those contracts were around $1.07, so I knew they had range, and that's why I chose them. And you guys could see 2.93 R was the planned risk to reward, or R multiple, and then the realized R multiple was around a 2.25. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, you guys want me to go more in depth about these strategies, go more in depth about how everything about like this new strategy works, drop a comment. And also, if you guys made it this far, make sure you guys drop a like, because I plan to do a lot more trade recaps, and I plan to show you guys all this a lot more, just my TradeZella, just showing you guys how I actually trade. And just so you guys know, I post everything. You can see everyone was green. You guys can see how every time I'm very truthful about my entries, and I'm very truthful about when I sell. I'm very truthful about both of those. I tell you guys when I'm starting to trim, when I take profits. Most people don't do that, you know, and I want to make sure I keep this YouTube channel like a safe space, and just so you guys can understand how real traders do this stuff. Obviously, I could go out there, I could Photoshop gains for 150,000, but I'm going to show it to you guys how it is. I only made 1500 on this trade, but the setup was so good and we executed it so well. That's what matters. Percent matters. Obviously the money matters as well, but if you can execute a setup like this, you see it's a high confidence setup, you're going to be able to size up in the future. Just rare circumstances. FOMC next week. It was a Friday. I didn't want to size in too heavy. We were already making our money for the week, so and that was that. If you guys stay tuned, I'm going to be making a weekly trade recap tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, DM me on Twitter, tag me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram, whatever. I'll answer every single question. So if you guys made it this far, make sure you guys drop a like, and let's get this money.